The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
There's a Jew in Israel, his name is Rabbi. He's a character. There was once a fight between two leaders of two Jewish institutions in Israel. Not the first fight that ever was. They had two institutions, two mosdot of Torah, and they got into a fight, one of these fights. And it was not very civil. So Rabbi Tuvia Pellis, who's a philanthropist, he's a man of means, or he used to be a man of means. I hope he's still a man of means. He had influence because he's a philanthropist. He was affluent, influential. He was once in New York for Shavuos. And after the holiday, he went to visit the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe knew that he lives in the city where these two guys are fighting. So he asked him, he said, Rabbi Tuvia, maybe you could make peace. It would be a big thing if we could make shalom between these two institutions. So he said he could try, but he tried before, it was ineffective. They're just, fighting with each other. So the Rebbe told him, it says in Medrash, that on Shavuot, God came down from heaven to earth, and Hashem told Moshe, go from earth to heaven. It says, before Shavuos, Elyonim layerdu l'tachtoinim v'tachtoinim layalu l'elyonim. Before Sinai, heaven didn't come down to earth, and earth didn't go up to heaven. But once Sinai happened, God came down. Elyonim yerdu l'mata vayered Hashem al Har Sinai. The higher reality came down. Hashem came down, and then He told Moshe, "You go up." The lower reality came up. So the Rebbe says this is Shavuos. It's a time of peace. The Elyonim and the Tachtoinim come together. The higher reality and the lower reality come together. They have to meet. Just like heaven and earth, Hashem and the Jewish people on Shavuot, on Sinai, they met. They made peace. So Rabbi Tuvia is standing there and he says, he's speaking to himself, this is a great message to tell them, right? Go tell them the higher one should come down to the lower and the lower one should go up to the higher one. Who's higher and who's lower? So the Rebbe, almost like reading his thoughts, says to him, and how do you know who's higher and who's lower? How do you know? How do you know who's Elyonim and who's Tachtoinim? Now what's the answer? He says, I'll tell you how you know. The one who approaches the other one first. Because it says that Hashem came down first, and then He told Moshe to come up. So the higher one went down, and then the lower one went up. So he says, how do you know which one of them is higher and which one is lower? The one who reaches out first. That's the higher one. And that's a very profound statement in life. Because when you have the courage to reach out, it means you're in a higher place. You're not living in, a sandbox. You don't get involved in the mud and the dirt and the filth. You live in a higher place. And when you live in a higher place, you could reach out. It's not below your dignity. Because you don't need this big narcissistic ego to survive. You just live in a much more authentic and deeper place. And you realize that you don't have to be right. You have to be happy. Much more important than being right.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org